Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here on this Thursday, which is also, of course, the 21st day of March. We're going to go straight into headlines. It's a busy news day here at the station, and it's not all good news. And in fact, a lot of it is very serious. And we'll get into all of that in as much detail as possible before I leave you. And in fact, a great deal of headlines that we will push off until tomorrow, for which we had planned tonight. We will be doing that to make room for another day of serious auto accidents and authorities on the scene of what may be a fatality-related accident at the junction of, or near the junction of 825 and New 460. I'll have as many details, which are very few, about that just in an opening statement and possibly an update before I leave you. We also have an indictment of a Mealy woman for the death of a Sagersville woman last year as it relates to a fatal car crash. I've got another story about a Sagersville woman who was arrested last night following a police pursuit charged with attempted murder of an officer. A Sagersville man arrested in Johnson County this morning for failure to comply with his sex offender registry. And I do have some other news, some good news, a few highlights from last night's season opener for the Lady Hornets on the softball field. And, of course, your forecast, there are some highlights there. So let's go ahead and begin. Just this afternoon, after returning from what has been another hectic day for EMS personnel, accidents reported one after another, several serious, and it began in Sagersville very early this morning, as you'll see in just a few moments. There was a vehicle crash, we are told, on Highway 460 near the junction of 825. I have no official statements at this time. There were some bystanders, some motorists who were stuck in traffic who did tell us that they were under the impression that there may very well have been a fatality-involved accident, possibly multiple fatalities. I have no official word at this time. That will be exactly where I will be heading just as soon as I leave you in just a few moments, and that is all I can tell you at this very moment. If I can get some more information before I leave you at the end of the half hour, I will have that towards the very latter part of the program. We certainly hope that that is not the case, but all indicators are that it certainly was a very serious crash and potentially a fatal one at that, between here and Paintsville. More either tonight or tomorrow. So let's go ahead and begin with our next vehicle-related report tonight. That is of a Mealy woman who has now officially been indicted for killing a Sagersville woman as she left work just last May. It was in the latter part of that month that the Prestonsburg Police Department and others responded to a two-vehicle crash that claimed the life of a Sagersville woman. Now the woman who was behind the wheel of that vehicle, who, as best as I can recall, was believed to possibly not survive the crash for a significant amount of time, but who did, has now been formally indicted, and she was easily found because she was already in jail on other felony drug charges. Yesterday, the Floyd County Grand Jury that's currently seated returned an indictment on this woman, Elizabeth Sue Lemaster of Mealy, for the murder of a Sagersville woman, Jessica Owens. This goes back to May the 23rd of last year when Prestonsburg Police and EMS responded to a call of a two-vehicle crash on Kentucky Route 3 and 321 near the Highlands Regional Medical Center caution light and intersection. When authorities got there, they determined that a 2002 Toyota SUV had crossed the center line and hit an '07 Mercedes-Benz head-on, resulting in the death of its operator, Jessica Owens. After a long and extensive 6-month investigation, a lot of reconstruction of the collision, Sergeant Ross Shurtleff determined that Elizabeth Lemaster, who was on parole for a 2013 drug trafficking conviction, was under the influence of multiple drugs, including methamphetamine and others, while she was behind the wheel, and that she was driving that vehicle without a valid driver's license. As she was driving, she left the roadway, struck a guardrail, came back into the road, and then came over into Jessica's path of travel, striking her vehicle essentially head-on, killing her on the scene. Jessica, as I told you shortly after that crash, had literally just gotten off work from the Highlands Regional Medical Center, exited the parking lot, and drove only a few hundred yards before the crash. Following the crash, search warrants were executed on Lemaster's vehicle. They found a quantity of pills that they believe Lemaster was under the influence of at the time. The mugshot that we have of Lemaster is from the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, where she is currently an inmate for a parole violation related to a separate felony drug case that happened while this entire investigation into the car crash has been ongoing by Floyd County authorities. The grand jury has charged LeMaster with wanton endangerment in the first degree, murder, operating a motor vehicle under the influence with aggravated circumstances, reckless driving, failure to wear a seatbelt, and being a persistent felony offender in the first degree for 2 prior felonies on her record. Getting back to auto accidents that I can tell you more about tonight, McGoffin County High School senior escaped serious injury in the following collision this morning with a tractor trailer on her way to school just before 8 o'clock in the first of what would be several accidents again today. Rolling up on the scene this morning, I came upon a minor collision that happened after traffic started backing up related to the first crash involving the McGoffin County High School student. 2 co-workers, I believe it was, actually made contact with each other, no injuries and little damage. But the real story is here, how a McGoffin County High School student is lucky to have walked away from this crash. According to police on the scene, the yellow Camaro was traveling east from the Mountain Parkway as if coming from Lexington or the Route 7 exit and making a left onto Parkway Drive, and it came into contact with the tractor trailer, which was traveling west, headed towards Lexington, if you will, in the opposite direction. Both drivers telling authorities who worked the accident that they each had the green light when the collision happened. Regardless, the big rig, as you can imagine, suffered only some minor damage, and its driver refused medical treatment at the scene. Miraculously, that young lady behind the wheel of that car also refused medical treatment at the scene. Pretty outstanding considering the damage to the vehicle. Fortunately, she was the only one inside the car when it happened. She was actually on her way to the McGoffin County High School and on her way actually to a field trip in Louisville with several other kids, including my Andrew, and went anyway after being involved in that serious crash. And then later this afternoon on Route 40, as I'm returning from Johnson County, this was a single vehicle crash that happened about 3 miles out of Sagersville. This Ford F-150 being driven in the direction of Sagersville. It looks as though the driver lost control, overcorrected. The vehicle went into a slide and went off the road, striking the embankment, narrowly missing a head-on collision with a utility pole, but making contact with that utility pole, going to the right side of that pole, traveling on the side of the embankment, and then crashing into the ditch line several feet from there. It was a female driver behind the wheel, the only occupant, who was on the porch of a nearby residence upon arrival of emergency personnel. She did suffer some injuries and was taken by ambulance to an area hospital. She was also, according to the McGoffin County Sheriff's Office, driving on a suspended license, which is still part of the ongoing investigation into the crash. And also in McGoffin County today, there was a 2-vehicle crash in the Burning Fork area near Birch Branch. I have some video from the scene and a few other details that I simply do not have time to share. We'll try to get to those on tomorrow's program, as we will a host of other news. I still have a long way to go tonight, however, and we'll begin right after these messages.
If you've driven down the road, watched TV, or listened to the radio, you've seen or heard the ads for the Sign and Settle law firms. When I hear of someone settling their case for pennies on the dollar with these firms, it chills my soul. If you've been injured, it's all about the money. I'm Attorney Jeff Lovely. I represent injured people who deserve all the money they can get. Call me at my Sayersville office at 349-4522, West Liberty at 743-1965.
It's a new day of deals every day at Parkway Gun and Pawn, with an always new selection of like-new musical instruments, power and hand tools, not to mention jewelry, games, guns, and ammo, and popular hard-to-find electronics, from Guitar Hero to amps to a pro-quality karaoke machine just in. It's all here today, gone tomorrow for pennies on the dollar at Parkway Gun and Pawn. Colorectal cancer is the number 2 leading cancer death in the U.S., with 90% of new cases in people 50 or older. And while people with family histories have 2 to 3 times greater probability of getting colorectal cancer, 80% of the new cases are in people without a family history. And Hope Family Medical Center wants to remind you that they're here with simple, easy, at-home fit testing so you can get the reassurance you need if you're over 50 or have a family history of colorectal cancer or just want to be sure. It's another way that Hope Family Medical Center wants you to be healthy. Call or come in today.
What happens when you combine the region's best network with a plan that requires no money down on the phone you choose, but also allows you to upgrade to the latest and greatest phone quicker? You get the Appalachian Advantage. Get any device for $0 down and upgrade your smartphone once half your device payments are made. With a qualifying trade-in, choose a device payment plan, 6, 12, 18, 24, or 36 months. We'll leave that decision to you. Just another way Appalachian Wireless proves better service and bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless. Phone payment plan required. See store for details. Advantage requires no money down. Taxes due at time of sale.
At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. It's tax time, and that means it's time to cut prices at Gateway Motors. Check out this gorgeous 2013 F-150 Crew Cab. Books for over $17,000. Their price $14,900. This 09 one-ton E350 van has got only 119,000 miles on it. They've got it priced at $7,900. It books for over $10,000. Come make them an offer. This 09 Chrysler 300's got leather, nav, heated seats, and more. $4,900. And this 06 Ford Explorer is in great shape. Only 84,000 miles, new tires and more, while they last at Gateway Motors in Sagersville. Now let's go to the Johnson County Sheriff's Department, where a Sagersville woman with a violent history towards police sits jailed, facing attempted murder of a police officer charges and other serious counts as well after a high-speed multi-county chase and trying to run over not one but two Johnson County Sheriff's deputies, one who was on foot at the time, one who was still in his vehicle involved in that pursuit. It all happened around 6:45 last night, or at least it began at around 6:45 last night, as the Johnson County Sheriff's deputy made a traffic stop in the Hager Hill area, and before he made contact with the driver, that vehicle took off. Johnson County Sheriff Doug Saylor tells us more.
As he ran the tag and started to exit the vehicle, the subjects fled the scene. They went up Middle Fork, across Coleman Branch at a high rate of speed. I think at one time they reached as high as 85 miles an hour. Then they turned on the 1750, entering into Floyd County. The deputies were still in pursuit of the vehicle, had them in sight. Once they got to the end of 1750 in Floyd County, they turned right back toward the 114 area. I think that's State Road Fork. From what I was told from the deputies. They initiated a foot pursuit at the head of a road just before they got to 114, and one of the subjects made it back to the vehicle after they had all exited. There were a total of 3 in the vehicle, 2 males, 1 female. The 2 males, they hit the hill, and the Johnson County Sheriff's Department deputies, with help from Floyd County SO, Magoffin County SO, Prestonsburg City, Magoffin County or Sayersville City Police, and the KSP. They were all on scene assisting. The female made it back to the vehicle and exited back out of the hollow. As she was leaving the area, she attempted to run over one of my deputies. And he was lucky enough, since he was on foot, he did avoid the collision with the car. He did avoid the contact with the vehicle. As she came on down the road, she came in contact with another deputy who was still in the vehicle, and she ran him off the road to avoid the collision. He turned, and whenever they finally made contact with her, they arrested her on numerous charges.
That woman was 29-year-old Jessica R. Minix of Sagersville, who had a large quantity and a large variety of drugs in her possession, on her purse, and on her person, and she was charged with a total of 15 counts for the events that transpired last night, as well as she was served with 3 outstanding warrants in her name. Altogether, the charges include driving on a suspended license, possession of methamphetamine, possession of opiates, possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, trafficking in a controlled substance, fleeing and evading police on foot, and another charge in a motor vehicle, reckless driving, wanton endangerment in the first degree of a police officer, and attempted murder of a police officer, a charge that Sheriff Saylor says that he did not take lightly.
No, we did not. Anytime one of my officers or one of my deputies is put in grave danger, we're going to prosecute to the fullest extent that we have to our capability. From my understanding, it was very close. It was a split-second decision on his part, which I am thankful that he made, of course. But in conjunction with that, the other officer or the other deputy that was put in danger, he made a fast decision to avoid the collision with her also.
As for the two men who bailed out of the vehicle that Minix was in and hit the hill, they're yet to be identified. Saylor says that Minix did give them some information about their identities, but he believes that she lied about what she told them. So that is still under investigation. You may recall that it was just around this time last year, perhaps in February, that Jessica Minix was arrested here on McGoffin County charges that stemmed from passing a school bus, after which she was charged with wanton endangerment in the first degree, reckless driving, passing and unloading school bus, as well as assault of a police officer, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and other charges when she was finally found and arrested. And while in his office today, Sheriff Saylor also says that his department arrested another Sagersville resident this morning, he says. Deputy Terry Tussey, who is stationed at the Johnson Central High School, responded to a suspicious person complaint just very near the school grounds as classes were about to start this morning. A registered sex offender wanted for a probation violation, who may also be facing new charges, was the subject of that complaint.
At about 8 a.m. this morning, Deputy Tussey, our SRO at Johnson Central High School, got a report from one of the other security guards that there was a suspicious vehicle in the area of the school. Deputy Tussey responded to that location and did a traffic stop after locating the vehicle. Upon checking the tag, it came back to a separate vehicle. Running the VIN number, it came back to the vehicle in question, which had several infractions: no insurance, no registration, failure to transfer, multiple charges. The subject that was in the vehicle, Mr. Gerald Williams, came back with an active probation violation warrant, which was failing to register as a sex offender. He was charged with this warrant, along with the other charges from the traffic citation, and he was transported to Big Sandy.
Sheriff Saylor says it's still under investigation as to what Williams was doing at that location. He did try to leave when he saw that police had spotted him, and Deputy Tussey pulled him over just a few moments later. I'll be right back with more headlines. Here's just some of what's hot through Wednesday at your Sagersville Save-A-Lot. T-bone, $4.49 a pound in family packs. Get chicken drumsticks or thighs for 69 cents a pound. 1 pound bags of mini carrots are less than $1 at 99 cents, and yellow bananas are just 44 cents a pound. Find a variety of boxes of Suddenly salad for just 99 cents, and Sara Lee whole wheat breads on sale this week for just $2.29. At your Sagersville Save-A-Lot, where you can shop other incredible in-store specials every week with no gimmicks, just low prices.
I'm Bill Tinker. I've spent the past 19 years defending insurance companies in car crashes, truck crashes, and slip and falls. Are you involved in a case like that? Is the insurance company giving you the runaround about your medical bills, your benefits, or your lost wages? Contact me at McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Don't drive or let your family drive in this or this before doing this. Stopping at Conley Tire in Staffordsville for brakes, oil, alignment, and of course, tires. Thousands of tires in stock every day to fit anything with 6 months no interest financing and over 33 years of quality service with a smile. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785. Spring's here. Well, at the seasonal shop with new arrivals in every department like women's mud pie and Charlie Page clothes, the perfect addition to your wardrobe. And Simply Southern is simply fully stocked, and they've got a lot of new items, new short sleeve tees, key rings, planners, caps, wallets, purses, and more. And speaking of more, Mary Square is at the shop. This beautiful line makes a perfect gift or a great way to brighten your day. Featuring everything from Bible covers to notebooks to lanyards, badge holders, bottles, cups, and ID holders. And their home decor section is absolutely filled wall to wall with new arrivals, all to make your house the home you want it to be. All at Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop. Let's talk about sports tonight. Not a good night for it tonight. In fact, the home opener for the baseball Hornets was to be tonight. The boys were set to, I think it was Shelby Valley. I do know that it's Shelby Valley. They're set to take on tomorrow night at home. First pitch set for 6 o'clock. Cold and rainy conditions don't make for good softball. And that's, of course, what's caused the schedule change for them tonight. But the Lady Hornets got underway last night. Their season opener here at home, hosting Hazard. And I got there midstream. I arrived to find bases loaded. Katie Howard on first, Samantha Black on second, and Jamie Collins on third, and the 7th grader Lainey Bledsoe at bat. And on a full count with 2 outs, she gets a hold of this one, and Hazard's Justice White gets under it to close the 3rd inning. Hornets are still up 4-1. And with 2 outs and a runner on, Hazard's Taylor Begley knocks one to left. It's an easy out for Samantha Black to put McGoffin County back at bat, where Kennedy Stacy beats the grounder by short to first, and Presley Smith drills one but into the glove of Mallory Combs, and Stacy can't beat the throw back to third to lock down the 4th inning. Now Laney back on the mound, and the Lady Hornets hold Hazard scoreless in the 5th inning. And that's where I had to leave before an exciting 6th inning, the top of which Hazard picked up 6 runs and took the lead 7-4. And in the bottom of the 6th, McGoffin County brought home 4 runs, took back the lead 8-7, and everyone was scoreless in the 7th for an 8-7 out of the gate win for the McGoffin County Lady Hornets. Up next, and before your updated weather forecast and possibly an update on that serious auto crash on 460, tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. First, an important reminder, the Big Sandy Ad Board is hosting a public meeting, an important meeting this coming Monday night about the Royalton Trail Town project concerning the $1.9 million grant that will go to build amenities in that area in the Rondell Reed Bottom on Route 7. That meeting is 6 to 8 this coming Monday at the McGoffin County High School, and everyone is invited and encouraged to attend. And a quick reminder that South McGoffin Elementary is having kindergarten registration all next week, March the 25th through April the 5th from 8 until 3. Call 884-7325. I don't have it on the screen, but the next McGoffin County Community Blood Drive has been set for Wednesday, March the 27th. Next Wednesday, in front of the Sagersville IGA. That's where you'll find the Kentucky Blood Center, Blood Mobile, and they hope that you'll join them. And get this, donors will be entered to win 4 tickets to the Thunder over Louisville VIP roof party. They give away some great things when they do this. That's one of the best prizes I've heard of, perhaps in a long time. That's a good one to get in on, and you could save someone's life getting registered to win or winning. That's a great deal. And our community calendar is also a great deal. It's free. All you have to do is tell me what you want everyone to know about your church, group, organization, or your birthday or anniversary wish, and I'll tell everyone else. Turning to tonight's funeral services, a reminder about services to be held this Saturday morning at 11 in honor of 92-year-old Earl Edward Likens of Sagersville, who passed away on the 19th, preceded in death by his wife Ernestine Arnett Likens. He's survived by his son Thomas, and visitation will be after 5 o'clock tomorrow and up until Saturday morning services at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. They're set to begin at 11 o'clock. 68-year-old Patricia Ann Music Johnson of Mealy passed away on the 20th this week. She was married to Don Johnson, who survives. As well, she's survived by her daughter, Dawn Stambo. Visitation is going to be after 4 tomorrow and prior to Saturday's services that are to begin at 1 o'clock from the Mealy Church of Christ. The McGoffin County Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And lastly, arrangements have been set for 72-year-old Scotty Dyer of Southeast Licking River Road, who passed away this week. Visitation will be after 6 o'clock tomorrow evening at the Sagersville Funeral Home, and services will begin Saturday at 1 from the funeral home. Burial will follow at the Thurman Dyer Cemetery in Sagersville. The flu and flu-like illnesses are widespread in Kentucky, and they're not going away anytime soon. So odds are, if you aren't or haven't been sick, you likely will be. And Parkway Pharmacy has exactly what we all need to fight it and any other cold or illness. From immune boosters for adults and children as young as 2 to all-natural homeopathics made right here in the United States of America. They can help prevent you from getting sick or get you fast relief if you already are. With great tasting and easy-taking gummies, powdered mixes, rapid-melting fruity tablets, and syrups at Parkway Pharmacy. Ultra low carb and ultra tasty doesn't come together very often, but it has at your Sagersville Lee's with our new low carb plate. With tender all white breast strips oven roasted in our famous spices, our famous green beans, and our new ham seasoned cooked cabbage. And for a limited time, get $2 off with a coupon in this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent. That's right, save $2 and eat just about as many carbs at your Sagersville Lee's famous recipe. It's been a cold and wet one out there today. Not so nice. Rains are ending tonight. Clouds, however, are sticking around through your Friday just before the sun makes a return, just in time for what's shaping up to be a pretty nice weekend. The rains, I think, are going to continue, not as much as what they have throughout the day. They're slacking off, and they'll be fewer and farther between, but till about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight with a 30% chance of showers. Winds out of the northwest still 9 to 15 miles per hour, and a low well above freezing at 36. So any precipitation will be wet and not white or no mix. Tomorrow, another cold one, 48 for the high, 28 for the low. It's going to be dry for your Friday, but we're going to see west southwesterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusts maybe close to 30, breezy, mostly cloudy tomorrow day, tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow night. Widespread frost tomorrow night and into your Saturday morning as we do get to the upper 20s for nighttime lows. Saturday we pick up a little steam up to about 52 degrees. A little frost in the morning, otherwise sunny, nice, and dry for your Saturday. Clear skies that night and we'll stay just above the freezing mark. No precipitation in store. We're going to save that for the latter part of your weekend. Sunday's going to be a nice one. We're going to add another 10, 11 degrees to 52 and go 63 maybe for daytime highs on your Sunday. Mostly sunny skies, certainly nice. A 50% chance of showers late Sunday night, and I'm talking technically 4, 5 in the a.m. on your Monday morning. So a sunny, nice, clear, calm weekend. A cold start to it on Saturday, warming up to 52 and then warming up to 63 for your Sunday. We'll start off next week looking at the upper 50s on Monday and looking at our next rainmaker. Yes, rain falling on your Monday, mainly after 10 a.m., and this is not a chance, this is a likelihood at this point. Rain's continuing Monday night, more clouds, and then widespread frost, and the sun comes back in full form on your Tuesday. But that cold front knocks us down to about 48 degrees. 29 for the nighttime low on your Tuesday night, but no precipitation from there on through at least Thursday of next week. We'll see around 58 Wednesday in sunshine after some morning frost. Thursday, pushing the upper 60s with mostly sunny skies and still no rain in sight after your Monday. As it stands, I do not have any additional information in regards to that traffic crash that happened on New 460 just a short time ago if you're watching the 6 o'clock program. I am, however, out the door and on my way to that location. If it is as serious as we believe it to be and a fatality-related crash, we will try to get an update to you tonight through the Sagersville Independence webpage and Facebook page, so look for those posts shortly. So with that said, regardless, we'll have more details on that tomorrow and a host of other news that you can only see here, just like tonight's programming. A whole lot of news that you simply can't find anywhere else. In fact, we're very proud of and that we work very hard for, just as we do in the Sagersville Independent as well. Thank you all for watching, and good night.